Tick, 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 tick. Boom. Welcome, peeps. You're back once again like a renegade master. We are back for good, and we are back by dope demand. My name's Tom Finkill. I am your Manchester rep here in the Bomb Shelter UK, repping for all you beautiful red, white, and blue Union Jack wavers. We hope you've had a good week. I've had a good week. We had a belter of a show last week with our very good friend Jeff Farmer, NWO Sting, Cobra, Super J. He was laying the verbal smackdown, and yes, I had to send a little message to Scott Norton just to check to see whether or not he'd rekindled that flame with Yogi Bear. We hope to get Scott on the show and he can give it his own personal flavor. But speaking of own personal flavors, today we are spiced with a flavor like no other. And this spice wears a skirt. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to that, I've got to introduce the finest man in any room. He's the three-time tag team champion of the world. He is the Wrestling Life 2026 Hall of Famer. And he is my tag team partner. I'm so proud. Ladies and gentlemen, the creation of devastation, Brian Clark. Woo!
There's my hot tag. Tomcat, so great to see you today, my man. You are just crushing it over in the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, do not get it twisted. He is the three-time UK host of the year. This is what Tom does for a living. He just happens to have a little bit of extra time, and each and every week we're breaking necks and cashing checks right here on the Meltdown with the man to the Tomcat himself, ladies and gentlemen.
He tells no lies. He tells no lies. I do talk shit for a living. That is the way that it's rolled for the past 25 years. So let's keep that party train rolling, brother. And we've got a show like no other today. We've got an absolute scorcher of a guest. So let's rub our hands together because we are also debuting some brand new games for you guys. I know they're the things that put us over. So let's give you a little bit more of the good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian, kick it off and start the party.
You got it, Tomcat. Few tag teams from the 1990s Attitude Era were as chaotic, loud, and unforgettable as the Headbangers. Bursting onto the scene with skirts, piercings, and heavy metal attitude, the duo carved out a unique place in tag team history. Alongside his partner Thrasher, our guest today captured the WWF Tag Team Championship and became a shining fixture in one of wrestling's most iconic eras.
But this story goes far beyond championship glory. From his early days grinding through the independent promotions to becoming a part of a wildly popular tag team in WWE's most unpredictable period, his career has been filled with memorable matches, unforgettable reinventions, highs and lowdowns, and experiencing that defined a generation of wrestling fans.
Today, we are sitting down to talk about the rise of the Headbangers, life during the Attitude Era, what the journey has been like both inside and outside of the ring, and why real men wear skirts. Ladies and gentlemen, the Meltdown is proud to welcome former WWF Tag Team Champion and current USW Tag Team Champ, Headbanger Mosh, Chaz Warrington.
Woo! That was a hell of an intro. That was awesome. And I liked how you went with the highs and the lowdown. That was well played.
Excellent. We always like a pun here on the show. So when I was penning this today, I was like, Got to drop that in, right? Got to
Yeah,
drop
that
that
was
in.
good. I love it. I liked it. Yeah.
Excellent. I interviewed you and McGregor not so long ago, and I managed to get the line in there. So I started it off the one and no, the Obi-Wan and only, and that was the pop of the show. That was the pop of the show. So
Right.
welcome, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here with us on the Meltdown, right, Bryan? We're going to have a great show.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this. Ton of great news coming out from Chaz, and we're going to peel that onion back and get layer by layer. So, Tom, kick it off, brother.
Okay, great. So obviously, on top of thanks for joining us, a massive congratulations out to you, brother, on your brand new book, Beneath the
Thank you.
Skirt. So
Thank
tell
you.
us, what made now the right time to tell your story?
It was just timing. It was first of all, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. The book was timing. It's actually something I started working on probably, geez, a good 7, 8 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and it was off and on, and it was more off than on. And I'd get in a roll, and I'd get in a mood, and I would just sit and I would type and type and type and type, and then all of a sudden, like I don't know, life happens, you get distracted, other things going on, and then about a year and a half ago, I went back up to Jersey for a high school reunion, and there was a girl there that I was in class with, and turns out she was an editor slash ghostwriter. So we started just talking about the book, and I was telling her about it, and she said to me, she goes, and at this point, I was probably about 75% done. And she said to me, she goes, well, if you don't mind, she goes, send it over to me. She goes, I'd love to read it and see it. She goes, and maybe I can help. So I was like, all right, sure, whatever. So I sent it over to her, and about 3 days later, she sends me a text and she goes, I think this is amazing. She goes, you need to finish this. And she goes, and I would love to work with you on it. So that was kind of the motivation that I needed to kick in the ass to finish it. And that's what I did. So between October and May of last year of 25 is when like I got it done. And then I started talking to different publishers and different angles and things like that. And finally I nailed a publisher. And it was like just the perfect timing. It all kind of melted together. It all kind of came together at the same time just to get it out. So the timing of doing it now really wasn't planned. It just, when it's meant to be, it's going to be. And that's exactly what happened.
Excellent. Well, as we say on this show, the planets have aligned. It was serendipitous, and the time has come. The time has come for you guys to log on to your Amazon application, check out Beneath the Skirt, and press that purchase button, and you are in for a treat. Or head on over to chazmosh.com where you can get your copy too. So do it now. Do it now.
Chazmosh.com. You can get it autographed. If you get it on Amazon, you're not getting it autographed on Amazon unless you show up at a convention with it. So chazmosh.com. And then there's some other things coming out on chazmosh.com. I have some, I'm working on it right now. It's being worked on a website with some exclusive pictures that have never been sold before or seen that you can buy in conjunction with the book. So a lot of little things like that coming up. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff.
And I checked it out today. As a matter of fact, you can also log on there, and also there's a link that hooks you to Pro Wrestling Tees to get all your merchandise that way also, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, sir.
Great.
Yep.
And, so your book was released in late December.
Yes.
Is that correct? 395 pages.
Of pure bliss.
Exactly. It has great ratings. I have not read the book, but I'm reading all the reviews on it, and they're all fantastic, that's great. That's great news, man. I'm really glad that you're having that success. I think that you just keep doing what you're doing, especially with your website. That's a great idea. I had a guy recently contact me about something similar to that, but I like what you're doing, the way you're tying it all in. It's just a one-stop shop. Get what you need.
Yep. So yeah, you can get it all there, the t-shirts, pictures, everything. And then I have other projects I'm working on also that'll be popping up. One of them is right here.
I see that.
The veteran authority, the wrestling coach. So Glenn and I are retiring from in-ring tag action come July of 2026. And so this is kind of going to be my thing to do moving forward, because I go up to the PC in Orlando for WWE and work with the NXT kids. And I go up and I do guest coaching, and I love it. So that's the side of me now that I kind of want to start. I guess that's my way of being able to give back, doing the seminars and, online coaching and training and just a bunch of things like that. So it's going to be awesome.
and you're staying involved with the business, of course, and then doing some WWE work. And again, like you said, giving back, man, it's strange because you and I both do the convention scene and we get to see people that we don't always see, but it seems like we're always connected with this business. It's you
Yes.
just never really get away from it. And I sort of like the fact that it's like that because, I'm very proud to have done what we've been able to do. And
Yeah.
so I think it's such a cool connection to see how everyone goes their separate ways, but yet they still always come back.
Yeah. It's
So
funny. Glenn and I had this conversation a while back. It's like, do you ever really retire from wrestling? Once you're in the business, you don't really retire. Like people were like, "Oh, you're retiring." I'm like, "I'm retiring from in-ring action. I'm still doing conventions. I'm still coaching. Like I'm still helping out." But
yeah,
just the in-ring action, Brian, you know how it is. Like,
yeah,
you slow down, you get older, and I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to be that guy where, a year from now, someone posts something on the internet and says, "Oh, look at Chaz, look at the Headbangers. Like they can't even move anymore. What are they still doing in the ring?" So we were doing it on our own terms. And yeah, but you never really retire from wrestling. Everyone keeps coming back, which is amazing. And because of the internet and podcasts and things like that, we live forever. And it's freaking amazing because the wrestling fan community is so tight and they're so loyal. I mean, they can talk shit about you, but if they're talking about you, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, they're talking about you. So yeah.
there you go. And you're being smart enough to know when to say when.
Yes.
And that's actually a blessing in itself. So, all right, we're
Yeah.
going to kick off with a few questions here. And this first one is loaded with sarcasm because the person that has written this, I'm going to have to. Here we go. You ready? Let's dive into your first
Let's
match.
roll.
Let's talk about your first match with a tall, here's the sarcasm, with a tall, handsome devil that liked to dish out carnage, destruction, and ruin. Let's talk about that day leading up to our encounter on Superstars.
It's the funniest part about that is so I'm doing an audio book also, and I'm doing it myself. And yesterday I literally did it about our first encounter. So that's what I did yesterday. Yeah, no, it was first of all, I was only training 3 weeks.
Yeah, I remember.
I'd only been down to school for 3 weeks. And when, Glenn was the trainer at the Monster Factory at the time, and they went up and down Brian, back then you guys went up and down the East Coast just doing TV tapings. And Glenn called me in to the office. He was like, "Hey, what are you doing, Monday and Tuesday? WWF's coming into town." And I looked at him. I'm like, "You're freaking nuts. Like, I don't know what I'm doing." The only thing I had done touching somebody was a lockup. Like I didn't even take a physical bump, a tackle, nothing from anybody except a lockup and learning how to do an armbar. That was it, taking an arm. And yeah, so he goes, "No, they're not going to use you." He goes, "There's no chance to use you because I haven't seen you before." He goes, "You're going to go up, you'll be around everyone, they'll see you. Maybe next time they'll use you, but you're going to get paid." And I was like, "Cool, I'm in." And then they roll out that big whiteboard that they used to, Tony Gurria used to roll out that big whiteboard. And there it was, Adam Bomb versus Chaz Ware. And I went, "Oh," I'm like, "What? I thought I wasn't going to do anything." So literally that match was the first time for everything for me. It was, my first match. I'm on TV. Like I'm making contact with someone. I'm getting bumped around. You threw me to the floor. You clotheslined me on the floor. I took a crooked bump. It knocked the wind out of me. Johnny Polo Ravens calling me a bum. The clothesline you hit me with off the top. And then I took the shittiest power bomb ever because I didn't know how to take a power bomb, but it was all amazing. It was just at that point in my life, to that point, it was like the greatest day ever. And then I had an encounter with Macho Man in the back, which just made it, amplified the day for me. So it was just, yeah, it's hard to put into words, even though I put it in a book, but it's just freaking amazing. It was awesome.
We're good, man. I'm glad it worked out good, and hopefully I wasn't too stiff. And you're still
Listen,
here to live and to tell the story, so I must not have been that bad.
And if you were stiff, I wouldn't have known the difference anyway.
You wouldn't have
known. It was. I actually felt when I watch it back because it's on YouTube. You can go watch it.
Okay.
And when you watch it back, it's like the worst power bomb anyone's ever taken from you. It's probably got to be in the top 5 of the worst power bombs ever taken because it was just awful. Because again, I didn't know what I was doing, but you got me up, you took care of me, and I was able to live to play another day. So it was amazing. And I think the second time we worked each other was a little better.
There you go. So, were you a wrestling fan growing up as a kid? Did you?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Yes.
How about did you have any? Who were your favorites?
Macho Man was my number one.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior was number two. And then this kind of shocks people when I say this because nothing like those two at all. Is Magnum TA was my number three.
Oh,
Magnum, great one.
Magnum. I loved Magnum because I wrestled amateur. And Magnum, what I liked about Magnum when I first saw him, because growing up in the Northeast, NWA, WCW, AWA, they weren't really known around there. It was all WWF. So I remember I finally got I got a VCR for Christmas one year, and I went right to West Coast Videos, and I rented. I'm going to rent wrestling videos, and I think it was a Starrcade one. And the reason I rented it because it was Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express and a scaffold match. And I'm like, scaffold match? What's this? I need to see this. And that was like my first introduction to Magnum, is one of those videos. And what I liked about him was he was plain. He came down serious, and he pinned someone in like 45 seconds with a belly-to-belly suplex. And I went, this guy don't mess around. He comes in, he's serious, he gets to the point. I'm like, I love that about him. And yeah, so those would be my top three.
all right.
They are some incredible names, right? Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Magnum TA. Well, seeing as you've just reeled off three names right there, we're going to stir the pot just a little bit more because it's time for our first game of the show. And this is a brand new one the Meltdown. And it's one that we're going to have a leaderboard for. So, Chaz, regardless of how well you do today, just like experiencing Adam Bomb for the first time, we're not going to know any different. So you're going to be number one for at least 1 week.
Yes.
This game is called A to Z. Yes, one of our favorite characters ever is the Iron Sheik, and he has a penchant for dabbling in medicines from A to Z. So we're putting our spin on that brand new feature to the show. It's game time. The game is how many wrestlers can you name from A to Z in 60 seconds? So here we go. So you're gonna start from A, B, C, D. I can reel off the letters for you, or
and you hit it. Okay.
So I have to start at A and then go all the way down.
Yeah, well, I'll start you on right there with the A, right there.
Right there.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Right. Spell.
Oh, you mean Adam Bomb?
There you go.
There you go.
Wait, does that count for A and B?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let you have both A and B. Right, here we go. I'm going to count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we got Adam Bomb, we got Brutus Beefcake, we got Chris Candido, Dick Murdoch, Ernest Miller, Farouk, EFG, Glenn Ruth, EFG H, Heath Slater, HI, Iron Sheik, I'm going Iron Sheik, HIJ, there's got to be someone with the J, John something out there. HIJK. I can use Kat. She spelled it with a K.
Yeah.
HIJKL. Oh shit. All right, I'm skipping out. Manny Fernandez. And this is pressure.
It is with 10 seconds to go.
And Nancy, there's a Nancy out there somewhere.
Yeah, let's go for Nancy.
Owen Hart. 2 PJ. I'm talking.
There we go. PJ Walker was the last one we got in there. We got A to P, Brian. A to P is our current leader. Round of applause for Chaz. He did a great job.
That's tough. You get into the weird letters. Like,
tell me about it. My favorite in there was there's got to be a John somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There we go. And how I didn't think of that. That's. I was like, you know what it was? I was thinking Jackal. I was like Jackal. It was Jack. Yeah.
You could have had the Jackal.
I could have had Jack too. Yeah. Yeah.
Did amazingly well, good sir. Well done. You are the
Good
current
job.
champion
I am
of
the
A
current
to Z in
champion.
Meltdown history. Sensational job.
I think because I have 2 undefeated gimmicks, we should retire this game now. So I retire this game undefeated also.
What a segue, what an absolute brilliant segue, because right now we're going to fast forward to the start of 97. The Attitude Era just kicked off, and we're presented with a new innovative show, which now has a massive cult following, Shotgun Saturday Night. The first match saw our friends, the Godwins, stepping through the ropes against a brand new team, accompanied by Brother Love, the Flying Nuns, Mother Smucker, and Sister Angelica. Now let's stop and have a little chat about that moment.
Yeah, so it was one of those things. We had Glenn and I, when we first went, we signed in November of 96. We had a part-time contract, and we were on TV as a Headbangers, and all of a sudden we were at TV. It was sometime in December, and we got Bruce Pritchard came up to us. He goes, "Hey," hands us our envelopes and says to us, "You got to be at this costume place tomorrow morning in the city." We're like, "Costume place? Like, we buy our stuff at the thrift store." We're like, "You're making us outfits now? Like, that's kind of weird. That's our gimmick, is that we wear clothes from the thrift store. Like, what kind of fancy clothes you're going to make us?" He goes, "Just be there tomorrow." We're like, "Okay." So we showed up and we walked in, and they're measuring us and we literally had no idea what it was for. And then Bruce came walking in and then explained to us that we were doing this Flying Nun thing. And he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "it's going to be like, the Flying Nun Sally Field with the big hat and everything." And we just stood there looking at him like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Vince has this idea." And we went, "Okay." Like, at that point, we were like, Vince has an idea. We're clearly going to run with it. We're not going to say no. And it just, we were around long enough to know, like, you're constantly being tested. So we were like, all right, maybe this is a test to see how we react. We're still brand new. We're not going to say no. And, yeah, so it was presented to us, and then we went, and then we were back at the Mirage, because it was the first Shotgun Saturday Night was at the Mirage nightclub in New York City. And we walked back in, and Vince comes up. He goes, "I like it." He goes, "But the breasts aren't big enough." And we're like, "They're not big enough." He literally ripped the tablecloths off, and he starts rolling up these giant tablecloths from a table that seats 10 people. He starts rolling them up, and he's stuffing them inside these bras we had on until they were like out here. And he's like, "Nope, I want you to go out there." He goes, when Bruce went over the promo he was going to do, these voluptuous, he goes, "I want you guys like rubbing them and feeling them." And we were like, okay. I was an altar boy growing up, so this was this was kind of borderline for me. And I'm like, listen, it's a job, like it's a work, it's a job. The craziest part was in the afternoon was when they took us to a limo pulls up. They said, "Hey, limo's going to pull up. You're going to walk up to this church. It's St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is the largest church in the city. And, we're going to do a little prayer, and then we just want to film you walking down, and then you get back in the limo, we'll come back here." We're like, "Okay, perfect." Somehow, and I don't know how, we were standing up there. We were only standing there for about a minute, and Vince had it timed perfectly when the doors open and all these people start coming. Mass was going on. All these people came out, and these little old ladies start looking up at us because, I'm 6'2", Glenn's 6'4". Glenn has the chain the nose chain, the earring from here to here, with the goatee and everything. And they're looking up and they're like, "Is this a joke? You're going to burn in hell." And they were giving us a hard time. And the producers and camera people were down on the curb. They're like, "Okay, walk." So we walked down, and the whole time I'm going, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "We're going to die. Like, we're burning in hell. Like, I'm going to hell." It's all that's going through my mind. We get in the limo. Now, the limo dropped us off. It took off. And another limo pulled up as we got down. We get in, and I'm sitting there, and I go, "What the fuck?" I'm going, "What is that?" And the privacy window came down. There's a different limo. Now, Vince is in this limo. Again, Vince is amazing, and his storyline stuff, but how he timed all of this, I don't know, because he wasn't in the first limo we took there, but he was in the limo that picked us up. And we were only there for 5 minutes. He turns around, he looks at us, he goes, "Boys, that's called money." And we went, "Okay." And up went the privacy window. And that was it. And then we went back, and yeah, we did the match. And it was the only match the Flying Nuns, the Sisters of Love, ever had. And yeah, and then a couple weeks later, because we were supposed to go to Texas the next week. I don't remember where in Texas it was, but like the religious groups were there, and they wouldn't. They were going to shut us down. They were going to shut the show down if Glenn and I came out as the nuns. So they scratched our match, and we told Bruce, we were like, but we have our headbanger stuff. Like, we can still do the match in our headbanger stuff because we brought that. He goes, nope. He goes, you're going to sit over there in the crowd. You're going to have some beers, and you're just going to watch and relax. And we're like, okay. And then the following week, we went back to New York, and they had us staring in a Disney store and got us arrested for staring at little kids through the window at the Disney store. And that was it. Gimmick was over. And when we asked about it, like later on, we asked Bruce, we're like, what's going on? And he goes, the idea Vince had in his head was we were so crazy that we would just come out in weird different outfits and didn't care. He goes, you guys wear the skirts, you come out in stockings, like you do all this other stuff. He goes, that was his thought of you guys would just do anything. Who knows what the headbangers are going to show up wearing was the idea. And we were like, okay. But the great part about Shotgun Saturday Night for us, I think that's how we got over the most with the fans and even with the office and the boys, because we lived in South Jersey at that point. So it was a 2-hour drive up. So there was no trans. So they booked us on every single, I think there was only one we didn't work on besides the nun one. There was only one we didn't work on, but we were there. They just didn't book us on it, on an actual card for the show. But yeah, we were on every single one. No Shotgun Saturday. We were the kings of Shotgun Saturday Night.
It is a cult show, a massive cult show. It's on my list for a little bit later on. We'll see exactly if it gets a pop or some heat. But we love Shotgun Saturday Night. Do you think that they could bring that concept back in today's structure of life? I think that health and safety and the risk assessments would be too much.
I don't think so, because I mean, I think there's so much TV now that there's so much. I mean, you literally have wrestling every single night now. So I don't know. And now they do the PLEs on Saturday instead of Sunday. So I think it would be tough because there is just so much TV. And, now TNA's on Thursday nights. They're live also. So I think it just would be, I think it would be tough. Yeah, I think it would be tough.
I mean, me and Bryan have this conversation all the time, don't we, big man? Where there's too much. The product is saturated due to subscription.
And we're constantly trying to catch up on stuff that we missed because, I mean, sometimes the shows are 3 hours. And then you have 2, and then you have a live, and you have NXT, which we rarely touch on that because we're so busy with everything else. But yeah, I can tell you this about sorry, Bryan. I can tell you this about NXT. It's literally nonstop. I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown. I can't get into AEW. I'll kind of watch TNA. But when I'm watching Raw and SmackDown, I could be on my phone, like scrolling, or I'm on my iPad, like or my computer typing, or I'm doing other things. When NXT comes on, it's so nonstop. I have to put it down because if not, I found myself constantly rewinding. It's just literally I hate to use the TNA, but it's totally nonstop action. It goes full tilt, and it's good. The storylines are great. The talent's unbelievable. What Matt and Sean have done there is ridiculous. The culture they've built is ridiculously awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of talent constantly stepping up. Timmy, for example, look how over he's gotten just so fast. I mean, he looks the part too. Yeah. Oba, he's just, I mean, he's
Oba's a beast, and he's such a nice guy that it's and they want to learn. Again, the first time I went, I've been going there off and on for a year and a half now. And the first time I went, like, these kids weren't born. They weren't even born when I was on TV or doing anything. And a couple of them knew who I was, but like, I get in there and I'm working with Carino and his crew. And like, I got to kind of introduce myself and let everyone know who I am. And then, I had kids coming up to me saying, no disrespect or anything, but who are you? And like, then I got to kind of explain, who I am. But the respect factor they have, whether they knew me or not, like, everyone came over my first time in, like, everyone's introduced, like, Bryan, you know how it was back in the day in the locker room. As soon as you walked in, that's the first thing you did. You made your rounds, you said hi. That's what they're doing there. And they had Oba, Trick, and Javon Evans all bump up, and then Stephanie Vicaire bumped up. Jordan Grace bumped up to, they call it the main roster, but I think it's all kind of the same. That's also good. But the people underneath, when all those left and went up to Raw and SmackDown, I think the product got better. I mean, it was like, didn't miss a beat at all.
Yeah. That just goes to show you how deep the roster is. And,
Yes.
and they're building it, which sort of, if you think about it, really has replaced like the territories.
Yeah.
But they're getting that experience in front of a camera, inside of an audience, So if you remember, of course, the territories had, a few hundred people at the max, maybe 1,000. If it's a big house, like you were a former Smoky Mountain guy, so possibly the big show that they had around Christmas, that was always get close to a couple thousand. But
Yep.
again, that just goes to show that they are grooming those people for the next step.
Yeah, and the coaches they have, like when I went to USWA with Lawler in Memphis, like there was no help, there was no guidance. Those guys were like, "Oh, you're from the Northeast," like they didn't want to help you. But when we got to Smoky Mountain, it was a totally different thing. We had Cornette, we had the Heavenly Bodies, we had Ricky and Robert helping us. Tracy Smothers, they all wanted to help. So the coaches up there are so top notch that it's just, and like I said, they want to learn. They're eager, and they don't want to let anybody down, and they don't want to get let go. So I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
I want to circle back to that too. A name you mentioned there. We're all big fans of him. Of course, that's Mr. Jim Cornette. But did he give you any advice once you guys debuted the Headbangers gimmick? Anything that sticks with you?
Well, the Headbanger gimmick was his idea.
Okay.
His idea. So we were wrestling as the Spiders, and USWA for Memphis, and then with Burt Prentice for Ozark Mountain Wrestling in Arkansas. And Cornette called us and he goes, "Hey, I'd love to bring you boys in." He goes, "But I don't like the masks." And then he went through how he was at a Glenn Danzig concert in New York, which is hysterical for Cornette to be at a Glenn Danzig concert in New York.
Exactly.
He goes, but there was this opening act, and he goes, it was the opening act was crazy. They're wearing makeup, they're wearing dresses, they have tattoos, they have piercings. He goes, it was heavy metal music, and they're slam dancing or jumping off the stage. And I knew exactly what he was talking about because I like that type of music, and I had been to mosh pits. I've been to the Bank in Philly, when, they're doing all that stuff. And so I knew exactly what he was talking about. He goes, "Not that I want you to go that far and I expect you to get tattoos and piercings." And he goes, "But you already have some tattoos." And he goes, "Or to wear dresses and skirts or makeup." He goes, "But I just think," and I was like, "I know what you're talking about, Jimmy. Like, we just want the opportunity to come to Smoky Mountain," because in Arkansas, we were lucky if we made $3 or $4 a night. And Cornette told us he'd guarantee us $75 a night, which was, that was huge. And so that's, Cornette was the idea behind the Headbangers. And then we took it from there. And it turns out the opening act at the Glenn Danzig concert was actually Marilyn Manson. And he had no idea who it was at the time. He just knew it was some freak up there on the stage.
Can you just imagine Corny in the crowd for a Manson gig?
I wanted to see him get in the mosh pit. Like that's what I was picturing.
What is
with,
this shit?
with the racket?
With the racket, yes.
Yeah.
Just waffling people with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's classic, man. That's so classic. You're building the ultimate package there with the Headbangers. And what I really liked about successful tag teams is that they were unified. You were unified with Glenn Bryan. You were unified with Bryan. It was a package deal. It was a package showpiece. And every package showpiece, every package tag team needs the ultimate finisher. And you had the ultimate finisher. Both of you had sensational finishes from the stage dive to high time. So I'm going to bat this over to both of you about how they actually came to fruition.
Yeah, Bryan, you go first.
Well, we wanted something that had to be really high impact. And it's something, of course, that could use both of our strengths and our height. So that's why we come up with the double choke slam. And we called it High Times. But even prior to that, Bryan was doing the F5 before Lesnar was doing it, and I invented the Meltdown. So I would hit the Meltdown, he would hit the F5, and then we would do the high times. So we were showcasing each other separately, but then together. So
Right.
yeah, loved it. So tell me about it. Let's hear it, Chaz.
The stage dive came about in a in a dream Glenn had. We had just started tagging. We just started talking about it. We just started trying to figure things out, and we weren't like really tagging yet. And we hadn't had a match yet. And he said he woke up and he always kept a pad and pencil or pen right next to on his nightstand. He said he woke up and powerbomb and leg drop was in his head. So he literally wrote down powerbomb leg drop. And then he came down into school. We went down into school and he goes, there's something here. He goes, I just don't know what it means. So we started talking about it. And then this is when D'Lo Brown was at the school. He was at the Monster Factory also. So the three of us just started like brainstorming, and being that Glenn was bigger than me, the idea was he does the power bomb and somehow I have to figure out a leg drop. So it started with him just doing a power bomb and me trying to like stand in the ring and hit a leg drop at the same time. But the timing of it, we couldn't figure out, especially if the person sat up too much or sat down, didn't come up enough, and then if I didn't jump high enough, like there was too many variables. And then it was like, well, let's try it off the ropes. It was off the middle rope. I'm like, it doesn't really look that good. And then we're like, all right, let's try it off the top rope. And it's crazy. As athletic as I am, balance isn't my thing. So trying to stand up there with the rope shaking a little bit, there was no confidence. I had zero confidence that I was going to pull it off. And then I tried it a couple of times. And one time I kicked D'Lo on the side of the head. Another time I almost sat on his face. It was a mess. So then Glenn and I switched it. And yeah, then it was took us about 2 or 3 weeks. And D'Lo probably took it 1,000 times before we figured it out exactly how to do it. Yeah, that's how it came about. It literally was Glenn woke up in the middle of the night and had powerbomb leg drop in his head. And then from there, we just figured it out.
What a story. What a story.
Yeah. And one of the best finishers. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best finishers for tag teams. No doubt about it. It has stood the test of time. And, I think about the effect after a while of that dropping that leg that high,
Glenn complains. We did a show it's funny, we did a show the other day, and they wanted us to use the powerbomb leg drop. And we're not, Glenn will still do the leg drop, but the first thing we do now is we go out, we look at the ring and we fill the ring and we're like, no, we'll be doing a double flapjack tonight for the finish. Because
smart man.
Yeah, no, it's like, no, we just look at it now and go, we'll do a double flapjack.
Well, let's just stop for a minute and raise our glasses as we do every show to one legend. This one goes out to D'Lo Brown. This is for you, brother.
Yes. The funny part about Glenn, D'Lo, and I is we all grew up probably within a half hour of each other in Jersey. And Glenn and I, our high schools wrestled each other, but I never wrestled him. D'Lo and my high schools wrestled one another, but I never wrestled him because he was heavyweight. But it's just funny how we all ended up at the same place as our careers went on, being literally 30 minutes from one another.
Wow. It's crazy, isn't it?
That's sort of like in Minneapolis, there's that area, Robbinsdale High School, where there's, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 guys that made it in the business. And there you are with 3 in Jersey. Yeah. There's a lot more, but I see what you mean there. I like that.
Yeah.
Let me circle back to September 7th. So ring a bell.
September 7th, 1997.
97. That's it. In your house, ground zero, no less. This is the night you guys won the WWF Tag Team titles in a fatal 4-way against Legion of Doom, the Godwins, and of course, the great Owen Hart and Davey Boy Smith. Boy. Yeah.
Yep.
And I've worked with everyone on that list. So I want to know, tell me what you were thinking about as the events are leading to this show. What's going through your mind that day?
Well, first of all, we didn't know we were going over. Okay. And then we actually weren't even supposed to be on that pay-per-view. It was supposed to be, it was Dude Love and Stone Cold were tag champs. But that's when Steve hurt his neck working Owen at SummerSlam. So we were told, I think that Wednesday or Thursday before then, that, hey, you guys, we're throwing you guys in their spot. You're going to be on the pay-per-view. So Glenn and I were like, oh, this is awesome. We're on a pay-per-view. So we got to do something cool with our outfits. So we went out and bought wedding gowns and dyed them black. And we're like, that's what we're going to wear. It's got to be something cool. It's on a pay-per-view. So we just went, just excited to be on another pay-per-view. And we walked into the building. It was at the Louisville Gardens. And Brian, you know, the parking at the Gardens is underneath. It's in the bowels of the garden. And Cornette came up to us. He goes, boys, I got to talk to you. We were like, oh, shit, what we do now? Because anytime Cornette said that to us when we were in Smoky Mountain, it meant we, may have twisted rules or messed with someone a little bit too much. And it got back to him. And he had to tell us how to go fix it. So there weren't any lawsuits or problems. So he pulled us down there and he's walking and we're like, Jimmy, like, what did we do that we're all the way down here back in a parking garage? And he goes, I just want to share this moment with you guys. And we're like, what's that? And he goes, you guys are going over for the belts tonight. And we literally stood there and went, cool. I was a duck on the pond. I was like, cool. Stood like this. And he's like, no, I know how you boys are. He goes, I brought you down here so you can jump around and get it out of your system now. So all three of us in the bowels of the Louisville Garden were jumping up and down, like celebrating that we were winning the belts. And then
that's classic.
It was great. And then, we're sitting in the room, and I think it was Lanza. I think Jack was our agent, and we're all in there, and, they're going through, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And then it's going to be Owen and Davey left with the Headbangers. You guys are going to go for the stage dive. Davey pulls the foot. Here's a backdrop. He's going to go, Owen's going to go in for the sharpshooter. And then here comes Steve. Steve comes down, kick him off, stunner, cover, 1, 2, 3. And I'm like this, sitting there. Because I was smiling. Like, I didn't want to do it in front of everybody. And I'll never forget getting up. We're standing up, and it was like real quiet. And Phineas and Henry Kent just walked over and just started hugging us. They're like, you guys can smile. This is amazing. We're so happy for you. And then we all started jumping around. And so we did the match, and it was amazing because it was like slow motion and like surreal in my head. Because Steve, back then, when they did run-ins, there was no music. You just did the run-in and came down. But Steve came out, and that place just erupted. And I'm like, I don't even need to look. Like, I just knew when he was there, and kicked him off, hit the finish. And then we get in the back, and I'm just sitting there in the locker room. We're all changing, and I just had the belt on my lap. And it just was like just amazement to me that I'm a freaking WWF Tag Team Champion. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I look over at Owen and I go, Owen, is there like a bag, like a felt bag or something for this belt I should put it in? He goes, you had your moment. Stop being an asshole. And he got up and walked away. And I was like, oh, I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And that was it.
So how long from your start of the business until you won the titles, how long were you in the business?
I started in June of 93. That was September of 97. So 4 years.
Wow. That's very fast.
Yes. My whole, I think my career was meant to be because, I started June of 93, July of 93. You and I are in the ring 3 weeks later. And then, a few months later, Glenn and I are tagging. And then April of 94, we pack up the car and move to Memphis, to go to USWA less than a year in. And then everything just kind of, progressed. There were some hiccups in there, but everything just kind of progressed. Smoky Mountain shut down, and Cornette told everyone, hey, I'm going to get everyone in here. My goal is to get everyone a shot. I'll give you the opportunity to get you into, WWF. And then from there, it's up to you. And that's what he did. He opened the door for us, and we went up there, and I think just everything was kind of just meant to be. It just flowed. But yes, very fortunate the way it all happened.
Right place, right time.
Yes,
and
all
the
timing.
talent, and of course, not to mention the talent to get it done. And you've done that, so that's man, that's a great accomplishment.
And nice to know that Owen completely knocked you down straight
of course.
Yeah, I would. You know what? I would expected nothing else from him but that. So yes. If Owen
well,
would have
let's do
handed
it.
me a felt bag, I probably would have been a little more disappointed than what he said to me.
I'm going to send you a felt bag now. Let's raise it high for Owen Hart. Yes, we do.
Owen
We've got
Hart.
that chin chin. Now, this all occurs at the height of the Monday Night Wars, and you guys are on either side of the fence. Bryan, you're repping it for WCW. Chaz, you are flying the flag of the WWF. So I've got questions for both of you in regards to the mentality of the boys. So in regards to that, mentality of the boys in the camp and their opinion on the opposition during this time. What are you both thinking? Are you both watching the product? Are you gunning to be the top of the mountain? How is it WCW against WWE?
Chaz, you want to start? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start. So
Okay.
for us, it was, we were getting whooped. When Scott and Kevin made the jump, we were getting whooped, and it just turned into, we want to win, and we want to beat WCW. And the biggest thing for us was we all knew what we wanted to do. There was no individualism. It turned into a team in the locker room. Everyone knew their role. Everyone was fine with their role as long as the ratings started creeping up. But then you get to TV on Tuesday, and the first thing you did, you were pulling out the ratings. What segment was I? Who was I up against? And if you lost your segment, you got heat from all the boys. They're like, do better. Do better, do better. And you're like, I was up against Goldberg. They're like, who cares? Do better. Like, we don't want to hear who you're up against. Like, you got to do better. We're like, well, Scott and like Hogan just made a turn, and you're yelling at me because he got better ratings. Like, yeah. So that's what it was for us. It was just everyone was on the same page. Everyone knew their role, and you just went out and tried to just do the absolute best you could. And again, if your segment lost, you got heat. It wasn't heat coming from the office. It was the heat was coming from the boys is where it was coming from. And it was fun. And it was fun being a part of that. And then, yeah, so Nitro back then replayed at like midnight. So when we got to the hotel, that was, you put it on, you sat there in a hotel and you watched it, and we tried to guess, okay, what time was I on? Like, you try to watch the segment you were up against. That's what Glenn and I did. We tried to watch it, but no, you watched back, and we're all in the same business. It's like I'm watching and going, oh, I hate that guy. Like, it'd be like, oh my God, like that was good. Oh my God, that was bad. Or no, I like that, or I didn't, you're just kind of critiquing it, but it was never, I guess, malice in it. Like, it's not like I'm going to watch, Bryan and go, he's terrible. Like, he sucks. Like, I hope he gets fired. Like, it wasn't anything like that. It was just, okay, I want to do better is what it was.
Competition. Yeah.
Competition. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was key.
I know that we definitely, almost all the guys probably recorded the show. I know I did, because if I was on the road, of course, and we had the replay. So we would, like you said, we would get to watch our stuff, but your stuff, it was a different time. And so I would have it recorded. So when I got home, my wife would have it ready for me, and I would always watch it and see what was going on and follow the storylines. And it was always very competitive. We had an older roster, no doubt about it. A lot of guys that, I think they could have even had a longer run if they would have moved up some of that talent that was in the middle up to the top. And that's just sort of where they failed to do that. But it was always competitive. I remember that, and always watched. And of course, back then, some guys were jumping back and forth. So, like you said, you never really knew what was going to happen. And it was just such an exciting time for both companies, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you had college students, guys in dorms, all their buddies together watching pro wrestling, which is a complete work. And they're just like, man, this is so great. I can't wait to see Stone Cold come out or whoever. It was just a great time. I don't know if it'll ever happen again where it's that competitive.
Yeah, I don't think it will, because I don't think there's, like you said, the talent was jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen now. That's never going to happen. And it's just, it's just one of those errors that happen, and it just never can be. I don't think it could be repeated, even if they somehow tried to. I don't know how.
Yeah.
It was like catching lightning in a bottle. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity and experience for both of you. Let me ask you this question. This is to both of you as well. During this time, can you name one top babyface and one top heel from either of your sides that you might have struggled if you didn't have on the team?
Oh, we would have struggled if we didn't have Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. We would have struggled. And then, you know, and Vince was the top heel. I mean, Vince was the top heel before, you know, The Rock took off. I mean, without Stone Cold, I don't think our run happens. I really don't without him.
It's crazy how it's just that one particular moment. It's like the birth of Hulkamania. Who knew
well,
that Rolling Stone was going to capture so many people's attention at one particular
I was going to say,
time?
on the other side, I think if Hogan doesn't turn, maybe that doesn't take off like it did. Hogan, you know, I know Scott and, you know, Scott and Kevin were kind of, you know, the start of the NWO thing. But I think if Hogan doesn't turn, does that take off like it did?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that was the piece there. And then on the face side of that, even though he wasn't always working, but he was always in the shadows, which would be Sting.
Yeah.
Sting and Goldberg. But really more so Sting, because he was that guy that was with WCW during the very low of lows as far as houses, and now it's erupted into Monday Nitro, and he's there. And he's just sitting back watching and taking it all in. So I think the people were really into that storyline.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Yep.
Completely agree. So we got 4 names: Hogan, Sting, Austin, and McMahon. They're the heat, the top end of the Monday Night Wars, and we praise all of them. And speaking of heat, it comes very nicely to our next game show feature here on the Meltdown. And again, it's a brand new one, Chaz. It's a brand new one. So you can't do anything wrong in this one. There is no fail. There is no right or wrong answer. It's basically a thumbs up or a thumbs down from you. I'm going to present you with some scenarios from the Attitude Era, and you just need to decide, no matter how ridiculous, if they made you, for whatever reason, pop, so thumbs up, historically significant, funny, stupid, made you laugh, whatever, thumbs up, or if there was heat, so thumbs down, it was just bad. It was bad TV, too ridiculously turned off, distasteful, bad for the industry, whatever. All right, here we go. Let's rub our hands together. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Ready, Brian? Let's do this.
I'm ready.
DX invading WCW. Thumbs up. Naked Midian.
Oh, that's thumbs up too. Yes.
Stone Cold's vehicular crimes.
Oh yeah, listen, that's all thumbs up. It's all money.
Good. The Godfather's pimping business.
Oh yeah.
Vince McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club.
Well, I didn't have to do it, so yes.
Yes. Brawl for All.
Bro, oh, that was definitely down.
Good. 24/7 hardcore matches. Oh yes, we took a little trip to an arcade. The Kennel from Hell match.
The Kennel from Hell match.
You remember that? Boss Man and Al Snow with the dogs around the ring.
Oh, I don't even remember that. So I'm
thumbs down. I'll have to send you the video. Mae Young gives birth to a hand.
Oh yeah.
This is a big one for all of us. Shotgun Saturday Night.
Shotgun Saturday Night. That's double.
that's
I don't know how many thumbs up.
Big Boss Man crashes the Big Show's father's funeral.
I mean, it's entertainment factor. So
did it cross the line?
No, because it wasn't a real funeral.
Thumbs up. Montreal Screwjob.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna go. Can I go both?
Sure, you can go both. Yeah.
How it was
needed,
done,
but it was the way that it hurt.
Well, how it was done was thumbs down, but what was good for business was the thumbs up part.
Yeah, good shout. Mark Henry's sex addiction.
Oh yeah, that was great. Sexual chocolate, 100%. Yes. Who
the character of Sammy is still a personal favorite.
Who doesn't love seeing an oiled up Mark Henry come out the ring? I mean, I was part of that angle, so yes.
And next one, Choppy Choppy or Pee.
Oh, Choppy Choppy Pee. Yes.
Good. Hawks fall from the Titantron.
Nah, I'm not a big fan of those, so no.
I agree with you. Last one, Beaver Cleavage.
Oh yeah, that's double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up.
My head was buried in boobs every night. It wasn't that bad.
Hey, it's a tough day at work, right? It's a tough life.
Yes. Yeah, the thumbs down part about that is me. Actually, I could go both ways with that one. The reason is I didn't look at where I was and what I was doing as a business. I didn't see wrestling as a business. I looked at it whereas I kind of my comparison I use now like is if I have a like I have a job right now. I have a real shoot day job. I run a sales team. We sell copiers and printers. As long as my number's there and I'm doing the right thing, I have a job for life. So when I finally signed with WWF, that was my thing. As long as I do what I'm supposed to do and I don't get in trouble and I don't do the wrong thing, I'm going to have a job for life. Yeah. Never looked at it as a business. But with the beaver cleavage thing, when they got rid of it and they had me just doing singles as Chaz with the girlfriend, if I would have seen the business side of it, realizing everyone that had a female was getting a push. That was my opportunity to kind of take off on my own and do my own thing. But again, I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it where this girl's annoying. I don't like her. Everything I keep telling her to do, she's doing the opposite. And I did everything I could to get rid of her. And then, yeah, just that's the thumbs down part is not seeing the business side of it once that took off, if that makes sense.
But hindsight is 2020, brother. And we still reminisce very fondly. And again, undefeated. It's always
undefeated.
There you go.
So what was it like trying to reinvent yourself after you had such a successful run?
It was very tough.
Yeah.
The beaver cleavage thing was easy because I was acting like a big kid who was, the insinuation was having sex with his mother. So it was easy it was a character. And then they said, when they killed that off and they said, no, we want you to be Chaz. You're happy to be here. You're a kid from Jersey. You're here to have a good time. And I went, who's Chaz? Like I had to figure out who Chaz was. So, I had, my hair had been grown out. So I had to figure that out. And then that played its course the way it did. And just as I was really starting to get my groove and figure it out is when they brought Glenn back because this was when he was out with his knee injury. But Glenn came back and Bryan, you know how Vince was. If you have time off, he expects you to come back in better shape than when you left. And Glenn came back the opposite. He was in worse shape. And so we got squashed right to the bottom. And then they split us up and they put me with D'Lo. And I was excited about that because they said, okay, it's going to be Chaz and D'Lo, your lowdown. And I was like, well, can I use Mosh? Like I wanted to stay Mosh because Mosh was an established character. Why switch me to Chaz? And they're like, no. We want nothing Headbanger. We want you to go out and be Chaz. So I'm like, okay. But like D'Lo and I talking, I said to him, I go, I'm still going to act the same way. Because that's what I know. They can call me whatever they want. I said, but that's what I want to do. And D'Lo was like, yeah, no, like 100%. So that's when because we found this out on a Sunday or a TV taping for Sunday Night Heat. So we found out just like hours before the match. So we didn't have time. It's not like this was, okay, when you come to TV next week, you guys got a week to figure it out. We had hours to figure it out, D'Lo and I. And so we're getting ready to go up. I still had all my earrings in and we're at Gorilla. We were working the Mean Street Posse. Those guys were on their way to the ring. And Bruce looks up at me and he goes, you got to take all your earrings out. I said, why? He goes, we want nothing Headbanger. He goes, you're Chaz now. And I looked at him and I looked at D'Lo and I go, who the fuck's Chaz? Like, I didn't know who Chaz was. Chaz was this kid from Jersey who was happy to be here. And he wore smiley face boxer shorts. And that's what Vince said to me when I did that. He goes, what are you wearing smiley face boxer shorts for? I said, I'm supposed to be a kid from New Jersey. I'm happy. Go, that's my happy. I go, I don't know. Like, I don't know where this is going. So it's the same thing with that. So literally I'm taking the last earring out and our music hit and Bruce goes, go. I was like, I walk into the ring going, oh my God. So I was just trying to feed off of D'Lo the whole way down. It wasn't easy. And then D'Lo and I started figuring each other out what we could do. And I started, okay, I'm feeling myself. I'm figuring it out. And then they put turbans on our head. And from there it was, I don't have enough thumbs for that. Yeah, it wasn't easy. And then the hardest part was, then they sent Pete Gas, D'Lo and I to Puerto Rico to get back into ring shape to bring us back up for TV. And that's Savio was running like, I guess trying to get like a, developmental territory going. So they sent us down to help, try to get that started and help out with that. But when I went back up to TV, it was September of 2001 or August of 2001. And, I did a dark match one night. And then the next night, I sat down with JR and I was like, you don't have me doing a match tonight. Like kind of, what's next? When are you bringing me back? He goes, when creative knows what to do with you. And I said, okay. I said, what do you mean? He goes, because at this point, my contract was expiring in January. And he goes, creative doesn't know who Chaz is. So as of now, we're not re-signing you. And I looked right at him and I got kind of pissed. I'm like, I don't know who Chaz is. I'm like, you've given me so many different gimmicks. You keep switching, you keep changing. I go, but everyone knows who Headbanger Mosh is. Why can't I come back as Mosh? Just let me be Mosh. We don't want Mosh. We want Chaz. And I went, okay. And I talked to Bruce. And Bruce said to me, he goes, well, just try to come up with ideas. He goes, go home, watch the program every week. He goes, you get an idea, send the idea in. So that's what I did. That's when they were doing the hardcore 24/7. And I sent in this idea of Crash sleeping and me walking up, just putting like a finger on him and having a ref, real quiet, 1, 2, 3, grab the belt, tiptoe off, boom, I get the belt. They loved it. They loved it so much they had Jerry Briscoe do it.
I watched that today. I was like, oh.
And then this is when Vince bought WCW. So now DDP's there, and DDP's doing his positive thinking thing, his positive whatever with the big smile. Yeah. And I had this idea. His thing was he was positive. He was a positive person. He was this, he was that. But he needed a devil on his shoulder. And the idea was for me to be the devil. I'm behind the scenes doing all the dirty work while he's in the front being the positive, nice person. But really in the back, I'm the one doing all the dirty work. They loved it. They had Christian do it. And I saw that unfold on TV and I went, okay. So the next idea I sent in was hire me as a writer. And I never heard back. Yeah. So to answer your question, Bryan, I know that was kind of long-winded, but
no.
It wasn't easy at all. It was hard because I don't know, like even today, if I had to get in a ring and just be Chaz, I wouldn't know what to do because the headbanger thing is not really a gimmick. What Glenn and I do is not a gimmick. Like we're characters, but part of it is us. It's, the joking around, the ribbing and what we do in the ring is how we really kind of are in real life. So it's, it wasn't really a gimmick and came so naturally to do because I could act like a big goofball, which I kind of am in real life, but in real life, I can't do it like that. But in the ring, I can. So it was easy to do and it was easy to portray. But being Chaz, I went, oh, Chaz is Mosh. Mosh is Chaz. Like, yeah.
No, I get that because there are certain characters in my past that I really gravitated more so. And I thought, but this is really me. Like certain parts of Wrath, I thought, yeah, this is just Bryan Clark amped up to 10. So I understand what you mean about, and then for them to keep changing your character or either telling you, giving you different things, not wearing the earrings, wearing, you can't wear the dress or the skirt or putting the smiley faces on the shorts, just you're in constant chaos instead of just concentrating on one character. Yeah. I mean, as you know, they didn't do any favors as far as creative goes. So,
right. Yeah. Like I almost wish when they killed the beaver cleavage thing off, instead of saying, hey, you're going to be Chaz. And again, the business side of it, I didn't think about. And back then I didn't think you could go in and say, no, I don't want to do that. How about if I do this? Like, I just was like, yes, whatever you want me to do. But I wish then I would have kind of went, well, let me go back to being Mosh. Like, this is who I am. And, but again, hindsight being 2020. But one of the things I tell the kids at the PC now is if you don't like something or you question why, I never asked why. Don't be afraid to ask. And then the biggest thing is whatever you're doing, you got to look at it as an opportunity because that's what you're being given. I didn't look at the singles run as Chaz after Beaver Cleavage as an opportunity. I just looked at it as means to the end, because eventually Glenn's going to come back. So the opportunity side, I didn't look at it. And the other biggest thing I tell them is be yourself. You got to be yourself. Like, part of these characters I get over the most, are the ones that are them, that, they're themselves. They're part of the character is them.
Yeah.
Absolutely facts. I mean, yeah, you have to connect something with it.
Yes. Agreed.
So.
And it's crazy as well. You're looking at it from a lens and looking at it from a fan's perspective. You were over like Rover as the Headbangers. You had something fresh and different as Beaver Cleavage, albeit it was completely ridiculous. It was different. And they had two successful things that they could do something with. Yeah, they wanted to do something with you that was completely sort of out of your comfort zone, as it were. And you were still offering them suggestions, and they weren't taking it on. You were offering them suggestions they were taking on from other characters and not giving you any kind of credence for. And what is even more startling is that when they gave you a big triumphant return in 2016, you were the Headbangers again. So
yes.
Yes. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Nuts. Yes.
So I suppose the 2016 return did open some new doors for some new opportunities out there when it comes to a business. So it's new action figures, new video games inclusions. I mean, let's talk about that. After 33 years, what's it like seeing yourself as a figure foreman on the video games still?
It's amazing. I had figures before. We were on the video games before, which was cool. It was awesome. Going back in 2016 was, it was a dream of mine to go back just one more time. So my son at that point, 2016, he was 12. He seen me do hundreds of indie matches, but I always wanted him just one time to see me in that WWE ring, whether it was in person or on TV. And it just worked out that it was live on TV. And my ex-wife actually set up her phone behind him. So I have a video of him watching me come down, and video of him watching, and I said to him before I went, I said, what do you want me to do for you on TV? So, it's just for you. And we went through a couple of different things, and he goes, I want you to dab. That's when the dab was big with Cam Newton. And I looked at him, I go, I'm not doing it. I go, I hate the dab. I'm not doing it. He goes, I know you hate the dab. That's why I want you to do it. So I went, okay. So, Bryan, like sometimes when you get in the ring, you're doing something, you cue up the camera guys. Hey, I'm going to be in this corner, try to catch this. I didn't even cue them up. I just did my thing, and I went right to the corner, and they got the perfect shot of me dabbing, and the video of my son's reaction where he looks away and he's like wiping his eyes.
Oh,
and
wow.
He swears to me it was the fan that made his eyes tear up. To this day, he still says that. But that, to me, right then and there, is what it was all about. And being able to watch that is like that's probably the number one highlight for me of my entire career. And then, when they called about the Legends contract a few years ago, that literally came out of nowhere also. That actually came from Mattel. We had signed these Panini cards, and somebody from Mattel saw it and said, you know what? Headbangers we've never made figures of the Headbangers. We want to make figures. And they called the office, and that's how that came about. So to have, new figures again, to be back on the video games, to kind of be relevant. And now, like I said, I go up to the PC and I do guest coaching, and it's like every 7 weeks is, when they're calling me to come up there. It's just being able to have that, because I love the business. I was a little bit bitter and salty when I left for a while. So there was a while I didn't watch it, but once I realized what happened, that's when I kind of realized the business side of wrestling. Vince there was nothing personal with Vince. It was all business. And, so I've fallen back in love with the business. I love watching, especially now that I go up to the PC and I help out when I watch NXT and I watch them do something, or I see them jump up to the main roster and I see them do something that maybe I helped out with. Like I pop. I sit on the couch with the dog and I pop, and I jump up and I'm like, woohoo, he pulled it off. Like I love stuff like that. A couple weeks ago, they did SmackDown down here, and I went down, and like Oba came up to me, had great conversations with like Cody, but everyone that was at NXT like Trick came over, Javon Evans, you know, had that conversation, and see them there. You know, it's, even though I'm not, but I helped them. I worked with them, even though I'm not there all the time. Seeing a piece of that, I just feel maybe I have a little piece of them in me somewhere. Yeah.
So you're doing that, you know, pay back to, say, for example, the days when Tracy Smothers helped you, or Rock and Roll helped you, or Tim Horner helped you. Just the same with me.
Yeah.
You know, I look back and think back at the times I was with Tim Horner and with Tracy and those guys. And you know, you learn so much, but those are such just the baby steps of your career, but they
Yep.
still mean so much even now. So I know what you're saying. Let me ask you about this. Coming up, the Headbangers retirement tour. Okay, you're currently on a big tour, which also saw you guys getting the titles again. This
Yes.
time in UCW, but come July 23rd, that is the day you guys are putting it all aside. Am I right? That's
That
the
is
day you're
true.
wrapping it up?
That is it. July 23rd, 2026. We're doing it for ISPW in conjunction with Tommy Fierro up in Jersey, which is where we started. So we started in Jersey. We're ending in Jersey. We've known Tommy, God, Jesus, pretty much as long as I've been in the business. So to start up there and end it that way. Yeah, so that will be our final in-ring action together. Yes.
Gotcha.
And looking forward to it. And it's crazy because I I said to Glenn, I go, now I see why people like, you know, Kiss has been on a retirement tour for 30 years. Like you see all these guys say, hey, I'm retiring. Hey, I'm retiring. Hey, I'm retiring. But then you still keep them going. It's like ever since we said, hey, this is going to be our last match, everyone's booking us. Like we get more bookings.
Oh,
Almost every weekend there's a booking. I said, I can see why now, but no, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy or that team that says, "Hey, you know, we're retiring," and then next thing you know, we're wrestling, you know, every weekend again after the date we say we're doing it. But it's just time for the two of us. You know, we go out on our own terms. You know, I will do some. I'm doing the pro wrestling, the coaching, and I said there is some instances where I'll get in the ring as a single thing if you have me for a seminar, depending on what it is. It'll be very, very rare. And the only other times we would come back together is if WWE called, or Japan, because I still have yet to be Japan, to go to Japan. And that's
oh,
killing me that I haven't been there.
wow. Yeah. See that you make an exception for that.
Yes, yes. And so I like to throw that out there because I'll be very clear about it. Japan calls somehow, some way. I still have to get there. And I keep telling everybody, I keep throwing it out there. Just pay my trans, get me there. Let me do a match or two. Let me go to Ribera, get my jacket, and
I
then
know. I'm
I
real
can retire and
surprised
be
you
fine.
can't believe you have not been to Japan. That
No,
surprises me.
yeah. So Glenn went when he first started, and then Glenn went over after Smoky Mountain closed down. Phyllis, I don't know if you remember Phyllis, if Phyllis was around with you or not, but Phyllis was big with like Al Snow and Ohio, that whole area. She got us booked over there. And the idea was Glenn was going to go over and they built a storyline to bring me back. And they sent him first to build a storyline because he had been there before. He was a little more experienced than me, but whatever. So he went over. And then while he was there on the last night, he dislocated both elbows at the same time.
Oh,
So when he came back while he was recouping, they were still going to do the storyline and bring me back, bring over. But that's when Vince called and we never got to go back as a tag. We signed with WWF then. So I never went. And I'm trying. I talked to Tatanka. I talked to Funaki. Noah's got the relationship with WWE now. So I'm trying to work that angle. Like I'm trying to work every possible angle I have. So if anyone's listening, you can get me to Japan. That's a thumbs up.
I think we need to send Harry Smith a little message. What do you reckon?
I was going to say that there's a tie-in right there. Yeah.
Listen, that literally would be the icing on the cake for me. Yes.
Cool. Well, we'll put the call in. We'll put in a good word from the Meltdown.
Awesome.
It's what we're
I
all about
appreciate it.
is those positive, happy endings. Let's bring it full circle because as I understand it, the Headbangers have skirts, will travel. So we're about to wrap everything up for another wonderful Meltdown show. And I'm going to give Bryan the opportunity to pick our final game. So, brother, you've got the choice. You can either ignite the flame and set Chaz alight with rapid fire, or he can face these hands with winner stays on. It's completely up to you, big man. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I can see the cogs turning, right?
Yeah, I am, because I see my list for rapid fire, which is really good. I don't have my list for winner stays on.
Oh, do you not have the winner stays on list? It's on page 4, the next page down. Brian's going to bring you up.
Explain it to him while I look for it.
So winner stays on seems to be one of our most popular spots on any show, where we put our guests under the microscope and we give them these hands. I will give you 2 names. You put one over and drop the other one, and we will replace the fallen name with another. We will go through to find out who is the supreme champion at the end. That's winner stays on. Rapid fire.
So you're basically giving me 2 names. If I like them, they stay. If I don't, I get rid of them, and then you replace it.
There you go. There you go.
One's doing the job, and then somebody else will replace that one, and then the boom, 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 boom.
Got it.
Let's do the hands. Let's do the hands.
It's our highest rated segment of each week. So whether or not you're looking at WCW talent, this still goes over Goldberg. Let's go for it. Let's see what we've got.
So am I putting my hands here?
No, I'm going to do my hands. You're just going to pick.
And
it's going to be quick. You don't have to give me any.
So it's your hands. It's my answers. Your hands.
Yeah, that's right. You got it.
Got it. Okay.
You got it. Just like Joey and Friends, my hands are your hands. Here we go. Let's go. Those who know. New Age Outlaws or Legion of Doom.
He wanted a hand double.
Joey had a hand double. There we got it, brother. New Age Outlaws or the Legion of Doom.
Ooh, LOD.
LOD stays on. The Hardy Boys or LOD.
LOD.
LOD or the Godwins.
I'm going Godwins.
Godwins have just slopped the Road Warriors. Godwins or Owen and Davey.
Owen and Davey.
Owen and Davey or the Dudley Boys.
Owen and Davey.
Owen and Davey or Edge and Christian.
Owen and Davey.
Owen and Davey or Test and Albert.
Owen and Davey.
Owen and Davey or the New Blackjacks.
Oh, Owen and Davey.
I had to throw a few in, right? Owen and Davey or Too Cool.
Oh, Owen and Davey.
Owen and Davey or the APA.
Oh, I'm going to see Bradshaw, so I have to go APA.
You don't want to be taking that clothesline,
no.
brother. No. The APA or the Hollies.
APA.
APA or Kai and Tai.
Oh, I don't want my PP cut, so Kai and Tai.
This could be it. Kai and Tai, last one, or the Headbangers.
Oh, Headbangers. Come on
yes!
now.
We love it when the guest goes over. Excellent job. Well picked, Brian.
Yeah, that was like LOD Godwins were tough because the Godwins are literally like my favorites to work. Henry and Phineas, they were my favorites. Yeah, they were my favorites to work. They were amazing. Those country whipping matches were so much fun with them. Painful, but fun.
Fantastic. Listen, hey, tell us one more time about all your book information, all your website information where fans can get in touch with you. And we will make sure we'll put a ticket.
Yeah, so the best way to find anything is at my website, which is
ChazMosh.com.
ChazMosh.com. That's where you can get autographed book. If you go to Amazon, go there for Kindle. Just get it off my website. I have a stockpile here, so you get them quick. You get them autographed. I have, I'm working on the audio book right now. Like I said earlier, all of my social media, everything I do is ChazMosh.com. You go to, I have the podcast I do. I have a couple of different ones that I do, but they can all be found on the Chaz Mosh Show, on anywhere you get a podcast. It's on YouTube. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on all of them. Yeah, but my website's the best way to get a hold of me for anything. Emails right there. It all comes directly to me. But yeah, I have a lot of different projects coming up. I'm working on like kids activity books and stuff like that. I have one now out that's out on Amazon. Yeah, just everything's at ChazMosh.com. Best way to reach me, the best way to find out and keep up to date with all the craziness that's going on up here in my nugget.
Well, I want to thank you, Tomcat. Chaz has been a fantastic guest today, man. We're really proud to have you on the show today, and all the good things you're doing. Your work at the PC, man. You're reaching out. Of course, your big retirement match coming up, and again, just we love having you, man. It's been fun today, and We know you take the time out of your busy schedule to fit us in, and we appreciate that so much.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate the thought. I appreciate, what you guys put into setting this up for me and getting it ready. It means a lot. And, Bryan, thank you for not dropping on my head in July of 1993, so I could go on and keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, this has been awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And, Bryan, I'm sure I'll see you be at WrestleCon.
I will be not at WrestleCon. I was there last year. This year, I will be in Indianapolis.
Oh, you're going to be at the Squared Circle
Squared
Expo?
Circle, yeah.
Then I will see you there. I'm there also.
Fantastic.
Yeah, then I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sure, man. I'll be there. Tomcat,
we'll wrap it all up. He will definitely be at the Squared Circle Expo. He will be breaking necks and cashing checks, and it is a full circle moment from June of 1993 to March of 2026. It's great to be that reunion show here on the Meltdown as we brought Adam Bomb and Chaz Ware back together again one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Headbanger Mosh, Chaz Warrington.
Thank you. Remember, do whatever makes your heart happy. Just don't suck at it.
What? I'm going to have to dust that skirt off, brother. What a conversation. What an absolute gem he is. One more time, put your hands together, no matter where you are. For the legend of Headbanger Mosh, those headbangers were out of this world, and Chaz Warrington is an absolute dream. Raising that glass to you, good sir. Now, one of the new features that we inserted in this week's show was a brand new game that we call A to Z. For all our American counterparts, if you sat in the UK, we're going to play A to Z. That's the way we roll it, baby. Yes, we took the name directly from one of our favorites, the Iron Sheik. And now we have started off a trend because we're going to create a leaderboard for all our guests. So as it currently stands, Chaz got 16 points, A to P. However, he missed out L. So I'm going to deduct him a point. So he's got 15 points right now. You get a point per letter that you get correct. If you get all the way through to the end of the alphabet, however many seconds are on the timer at the end, gets added onto your score as points. So, Big Bri, we're going to put you under the microscope because it would be remiss of me if I didn't. So I'm going to set that timer all fresh. I'm going to let you flex it a little bit. And here we go. A to Z. How many can you get through? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. A.
Atom Bomb.
B.
Brutus Beefcake.
C.
Carlito.
D.
Demolition.
E.
Edge.
F.
Farouk.
G.
Godwins.
H.
Triple H.
I.
Iceman King Parsons.
Nice. J.
Jake Roberts.
K.
Chronic.
L.
Damn it. Lexus King.
There we go. M.
Men on a Mission.
N.
New Day.
O.
Outlaws.
B.
Ron,
P.
P. Phineas.
Yeah. Q.
Q.
2, 1, stop. Oh, there we go. We got all the way to P, the exact same spot, but I might just have to knock you 1 point for Outlaws.
Outlaws, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have said Outlaw Ron Bass. Yeah. Okay.
There you go. That would have done it. That would have done it. Oh, the man that we've just been spending the whole show talking about, Obafemi. It'd have been all in.
Oh, jeez.
It's so hard, and it's a real kick in the ass when you see it right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You did well, brother. Another 15 points. You're equal on the leaderboard, which is joint first.
All right, I'll take a tie.
Take that as a big W.
All right.
Love it. Well, let us know, guys, exactly what you thought of our new feature, whether it be A to Z or something else that we inserted into the show, which was our Heat or Pop. What did you think of that one? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I like it because it's another part of the whole game show, which you're a king at. Again, the Tomcat comes up with all these great ideas, He didn't want me to put him over right now, but he's fantastic at doing this. I can just imagine being at his live show with him, which hopefully that will happen one day soon.
I hope
So
so.
again, I love the games, and I love this A through Z. I'd actually like another shot at it.
You
You
would.
know,
Well, you better tune in next week because I might give Bryan a
I didn't get
second
to the
roll.
R's. I wanted to get to the R's because I wanted to use Red Rooster.
Oh, that's a belter. Because you could have gone straight through. So you've gone from R to T. You could have had Terry Taylor and got a double whammy
Oh yes. What is
belter.
it? Clucking and strutting. Yeah.
Oh,
Good
if ever
stuff.
there was a gimmick, if ever there
Oh,
was a
what a
gimmick.
career killer.
Yeah, we need to reach out and see whether or not we can take a little trip to the barnyard and get TT on the show.
Oh,
I can guarantee it's pretty much a definite no, but
I
we'll
would
see.
think
Yeah,
so.
I would as well. But yeah, we'll live that dream. Let us know what you thought of the game shows, the new parts of the meltdown that we inserted in this week, as we are steadily rolling towards our 1 year anniversary. I can't believe we're only about 8 weeks away from that now. How amazing a job Bryan has done, all our guests have done, and you, our wonderful viewers, have done to stick with us on this incredible path that we have been on for just shy of a year. And seeing as we are putting out the applause to all you guys, I want you to put the applause out to that big man right here because he's been keeping something under his hat. Somebody told me it's your birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday for Saturday, big man.
hey, thank you, Tomcat. I appreciate it, man. Being on the meltdown with you is the best. There's no doubt about it. I am a blessed man to be working with. You know what? I was going to ask you, there was a question while you were mentioning the whole birthday, and you said, what was a hidden talent? That was a question somewhere. What was my hidden talent?
Oh,
We
yeah.
asked Big Ben Bishop the same thing, right?
Yeah. So talk to me. What's your hidden talent?
That's my hidden talent. I've always been able to do it since I was a kid, all through college, football, pro wrestling, giving nicknames, and not just nicknames that stick, and actually good nicknames. For example, the Tomcat. So
That's it.
yes, that's what I've always been able to do that.
I can wander around Manchester now and people just start hollering at me, Tomcat, Tomcat.
And then of course, PWTs, we get his t-shirts rolling, action figures, we got it going,
Hey,
brother.
the world is our oyster, brother. The world is our oyster. And speaking of that, for any of you out there that are running businesses, big or small, we are here for you because, yes, we will shill for a shilling. We want to advertise your products. If there's something that you think needs to be put on an even bigger platform that is currently on, put it on the Meltdowns platform. We are more than happy to talk up your stuff and obviously put all your details here on our show because our show is your show and we want you all to feel like you are a part of it. Reach out to us on any of our social media platforms, whether it be at the Meltdown Official on Instagram. You can hit Bryan up at Bryan Clark 3X Champ on there, or me at Tom Finkill. You can search at Real Bryan Clark on YouTube. That's where you find our show, TikTok, Twitter, and all the rest of the social media universe. Drop us a little message and let us know how we can bring the meltdown to life for your business. It's what we're all here for. Well, we're about to wrap everything up and get set because I'm about to start a brand new DDPY program. It's all in. We're going to flex it. I'm going to get fit for Florida and he's going to get ready for the big birthday Saturday. Let's blow those candles out. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, remember, shoes ain't cheap and booking ain't easy. Same Meltdown time, same Meltdown channel next week. We will see you then. Boom.
Thank you all again. It was great having Chaz as our guest. Another World Tag Team Champion in our presence. We had a great time with him, learning about his history and his past, and the great thing he's doing with the Performance Center, working with the new talent coming in. So again, thanks so much for having him. Also want a big shout out to Giorgio, Melissa Wiccan, the comic book guy, Hector Morales, and Lucy Hale. They're always in the comment section. We appreciate you each and every week. Until next week, where we're breaking necks and cashing checks, we will see you then.